Texas Open Meetings Act, which is also available to the public. First item is, are there any public speakers?
No, sir, no public speaker.
Next item we have is the meeting minutes. So consideration of an action on the meeting minutes on October 14th, 2025. I get a motion.
Second.
Johnston, first motion, Tracy Pipes, second. Thank you. Those in favor? Thank you all. Motion carries for the meeting minutes for October 14th, 2025. Second item we have the orientation, review of and discussion on the Parks Board Advisory Board, orientation and overview of the Parks Board Recreation Department. Mr. William Hodgick, Interim Director of Parks and Recreation, will be presenting.
OJ, thank you. Good talk, Olin. I was having printer issues, so Olin kindly printed off.
If I may, before we start, I apologize. I failed to recognize, I want to introduce our new board member, our ninth board member, Mr. Chris DeLay. Sorry, I should have said that before, but I just want to make sure that everyone here is understand, as well as being recorded, that we have our ninth board member starting today. Welcome to the board. And so I won't make you speak. So with that said, thank you. William?
Thank you, Hojin. Yes, welcome, Chris. Good timing for you to attend today. So we're doing our annual kind of following up from the ethics at the city council, but our annual orientation and overview today. So good. I know you're pretty familiar with our parks, Chris, but it's a good chance, I think, for all of us and Chris to learn a little more, but all of us to kind of remember all what we do. It's hard to remember. I know we do the director's reports every month, but it's hard to just kind of remember, what all we do. But I also introduced Henry Brecka. He's from Public Works. He's going to be speaking after me on the Tree City USA. So I want to go ahead and introduce him before I forget that. But yes, as most of you heard from Kimberly a few minutes ago, Kimberly has taken the interim role as communications director. And so I've been asked to step up for the short while and be interim director. So you'll be seeing a little bit more of me. And then when Kimberly's gets that position hired in communications as the director, she'll hop back over to Parks. So you'll just be seeing a little bit more of me than normal, but y'all are already used to me already. So had it backwards. So I did want to kind of quickly do an overview first before we kind of get into the nitty-gritty of the board duties and responsibilities. I figured y'all didn't mind. It's a lot. I had a really hard time cutting it down. Some of this I'm just going to go pretty quickly through. And if you have a question, just raise your hand and slow me down, or just ask me at the end. Y'all know me, I'm an open book. I'll answer any question that I can. It's just, it was so much, but it's a lot. And I don't want to keep us here forever, but the pictures are worth a lot. And so I'm going to kind of go quickly through some of the slides, slow down on some, if that's okay. So our mission, Sugar Land Parks and Recreation is committed to creating, maintaining, and providing inclusive recreational opportunities, innovative events, and high-quality parks. We enhance our community with exceptional experiences, promising a life better than can imagine. And that's something that we recently kind of revamped with the Strategic Government Affairs Office, SGA, as we kind of revamped some of our mission, vision, and values and started creating some of our goals for the next 1 to 3 years. And so this mission statement is actually new from the last time y'all saw it last year. So who are our customers? Citizens of Sugar Land, of course. That includes senior citizens, youth, teenagers, adults, and everybody in between. Our youth sports associations, or YSAs, as we often call them, community organized groups, visitors, guests, and tourists. And so who are we, Parks and Recreation? Who are we? I would say small but mighty crew. Consist of administration, development and maintenance, the T. Harmon Senior Center staff, the Imperial Park Recreation staff, often we say IPRC, recreation, athletics, and special events. And so our department budget is about $7.245 million. annually. And that breaks down to, roughly 60-40 personnel and operations and maintenance. How does our organizational structure look like? Of course, there's the director, Kimberly. I'm in that position right now, but then you have the assistant director of parks development and maintenance. That's me again. Over building repairs, general park maintenance, development, community relations, hike and bike trails, inventory, master planning, and all that. And then you have Brianna Williams right there. Raise your hand, Brianna. I think most of y'all, of course, most of y'all know her. Chris, you may not, but that is Brianna, the other assistant director, been in the role probably close to half a year, maybe a little over half a year now, stepping up as the manager of events. And of course, she and her team are over aquatics, facility reservations, rentals, day camps, leisure programs, senior adult programs, special events, or the rec center, farmers market, and everything else in between. And then you have Michelle, who's back there in the back as the administrative manager. She just gave a big wave. Administration, budget, customer service, marketing, Parks Board, policy research, social media, special projects, and strategic documents. Now, and so if you see something on Parks and Rec social media, Facebook, which we have a lot of followers, it's usually Michelle doing those posts and capturing that attention or giving that information out. And so with that, of course, we have a organizational structure, and I won't go through all that, but it's basically a picture of what I just talked about, right? So that's all the staff right there, 43 total in Parks and Recreation, 32 full-time and 11 part-time. And so with a population of Sugar Land of just under 120,000 people, to me, it's quite an anomaly or quite fantastic that we can do everything we do, that we present to y'all each and every month with 32 full-time and 11 part-time staff. So hats off to staff for going the extra mile and then doing everything in between, like freezes and hurricanes and all that other fun stuff that we always talk about. So with that, parks at a glance, yes, 2,581 total park acres. That's 1,400 developed park acres and 1,100 undeveloped park acres, 23 miles of trails, and 27 parks total. That is 5 community buildings and 10 concession stands, disc golf course, nature trails, 5 sports fields, and everything in between, right? It's just a lot. And of course, our website and our brochures. We have this awesome map that can kind of consolidate the last 5 slides I just talked about down to one awesome map. There is more maps on your way out of City Hall on the right-hand side, or you request one and Michelle will make sure to get you one. It is also on our website. The bifolds are awesome because we can hand them out, staff can hand them out and help point people in the right direction or explain what else park they want to go see. I use my map all the time. That was recently updated. And so as y'all can see, we've grown to 27 parks. You know, everything from Brazos River Park, all the way up to Eldridge and Socket Park on the north side, Cullinan on the west, and then east, Lost Creek, Oyster Creek Parks. So quite a bit going on. Our awesome neighborhood pocket parks, quite a bit of them. I won't list them all, but that's Mayfield Park there at the bottom, one of our newer remodeled ones, next just past the Sugarland Sugar Factory. And then community parks, those are our bigger parks: City Park, Eldridge Park, First Colony Park, Imperial Park, Lost Creek Park, and Oyster Creek Park and Trail. Very popular parks. Our special use parks, regional parks, of course, Cullinan, all the way down to Tahasik, to the Go Ape Adventure Park zip line at Brazos River Park. That's what you see in the picture there. The dog park is there on the left. We do maintain the plaza adjacent to Smart Financial Center building. It's about 3 acres. It's not really a park, it's a plaza, but we maintain it. The Crown Festival Park is something we also maintain. And we don't maintain the Sugarland Town Square, but we do host events at the Sugarland Town Square. That's the only thing on this list that we really don't maintain, other than the Go Ape Adventure Park, which is an agreement that they maintain it. It's still our property, and we're still maintaining the park, but We don't maintain that. Go Ape does, and then pays us a fee to lease that 17 acres. Park usage. I'm gonna go quickly through these slides. My point is that our park usage is something we look at through Placer.ai. It is a cell phone tracking company, but it's much more than that. Placer.ai would probably gasp if they heard me say that. But that's the reality of it. But they use a lot of AI and integration to figure out how they can populate people in an area using cell phone data, probably looking at family plans or how many kids they may have, because kids don't always carry cell phones. So it's much more than cell phone tracking, but that's kind of the basis of their modeling. And Phone Lynn, Michelle, me, Kimberly, Caitlin, we look at Brianna. We almost all look at Placer.ai because the speed bump method or the bump method 2 weeks a year from Public Works just really wasn't capturing the data. We can capture day-to-day data using this Placer.ai. And as you can see, Eldridge Park gets still as the top park, but close second is Sugar Land Memorial Park. And we're getting, 679,000 visits a year at Eldridge Park. I mean, 562,000 visits a year at Memorial Park. These parks are heavily used is the point. And my other point is that the population just seems, the increased activity just seems to go up. Every year our numbers look, for the most part, go up. And we're looking at this data to see what the trends are and what parks may be going down. And what parks are going up and what do people want to see in the parks. Where are people coming from? As you can see, mostly the Sugar Land area, mostly Fort Bend County, but you can see people are trickling in all the way from Lake Jackson area, Texas City to Tomball, to El Campo. I will say our high quality parks is what's doing that. We do see an increase in Brazos River Park due to all the new projects we have out there, including the mountain bike trails and the pump track, and that kind of stuff seems to drive people in more. With that, you can see some of the trends. The green is what's on the rise. For example, Brazos River Park is up 319%. I just mentioned that just a second ago. And some of the parks are down. And so Meadow Lake Park's is a little down, or some of our neighborhoods parks are down. So we're looking at these trends very closely to see how can we improve some of these things or get out to doing some surveys with our communications department and our 311 department to see what is it that people are not using these parks as much. And then what is it that they are liking in the parks that they're going to a lot, to see how we can kind of align that with our future improvements, our parks development. And speaking of that, parks development, that's something else that we do. We do that through the Parks Master Plan that we did in 2018. A lot of y'all were helping with that project. Some other key issues that we're looking at is special events funding, parks rehabilitation funding, Fort Bend County Park Bond projects, growth of the seniors program, youth sports associations, Telfair Park Site and Cemetery, and park rehab and growth. So just a lot of things that we're kind of keeping an eye on as we move forward. Our capital improvement program definitely identifies funds, looks for parkland acquisition, master planning, and then design and construction. We're going to go through a couple of those projects here in a second. Our capital improvement program is 2.9%, or $723,000 and 723 million overall the city. We have 2.9%. Some things we're looking at is the Senior Center Needs Study, Colonial Park Phase 3, Memorial Park Splash Pad, and Eldridge Park improvements. And we have a couple pictures of that here in a second. So our long range planning, of course, is what I talked about a second ago. We do have the Senior Center Needs Study going on right now. It's kind of one of our major long range planning. We're looking to do kind of wrap that up in the next couple of months. That study is going really well, and we're looking to wrap it up. But we get with consultants to look at like the Brazos River corridor. This is something Paul and I updated probably about a year ago, maybe a little more than that, to see, okay, we built Brazos River Park, but what else do we need to start looking at? Especially since we were given this 120 acres from the George Foundation, the Oxbow area. We call that Brazos Landing Park. So we're just kind of looking at forecasting what are we doing in the future. So programs and services, one of the programs and services we offer is Maintenance Development Division. There's the happy crew there in front of one of our pieces of equipment. That's the Parks Maintenance Shop, and that's the whole crew, the maintenance and development crew right there. So if you see them, a small but mighty crew, if you see them out in the parks, make sure to say hello. They're typically wearing this brown uniform. Jorge is the superintendent right there. A lot of y'all met him. Such a super nice guy, leads this crew really well off Austin Parkway there at the Parks Maintenance Shop. So what are we doing over there in that division? Recently completed, we installed some wayfinding signs at Brazos River Park and Memorial Park to get people to all the cool amenities that we have out there. We just got finished doing a 5 quick win project using Sugarland 4B funding, including shade over the Brazos River Park playground, a couple of pavilions, a design for a splash pad at Memorial Park. And so now we're in the construction phase on that. It's out to bid right now. So we're constantly trying to ask, the surveys came back a lot with it. We want more shade. We want more cool things to do in the summer to cool off. And so that's the kind of stuff that we kind of focused on. Part of that project was the Imperial Park Rec Center got the cardio weight room, and the meeting room was converted to a cardio weight room. That's in one of those pictures. It's kind of hard to see. And so, yeah, shade. We had a pavilion installed at the Imperial Park that will feed the Sugarland Girls Softball Association, but also the disc golf course as well. That's there at that park. The animal control building is going at that park as well, most likely. And so this will serve as a good pit stop for the animal control people walking the dogs. So super happy with this project. I just mentioned this already, but the Brazos River Park playground, from design to completion, that's what development does. So nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens by chance. Every policies and procedures have to be followed. And when you go out to bid with something, you got to have the documentation for it. So, and not only that, but follow the standards, the certified playground safety inspection standards as well. So there's I think some of y'all came to that ribbon cutting. There's one of the photos there. And then just rave reviews at Brazos River Park, probably why you're seeing the increase in usage at Brazos River Park. And so Pavilion Butterfly, the awesome volunteer initiative, Butterfly Garden, got to basically is constantly under revamping from the volunteers, and Folandu and Caitlin are leading that charge. But they needed somewhere to kind of rest and get out of the sun and kind of, if bad weather comes, get underneath it. But also we just needed more shaded pavilions at Memorial Park. So the Butterfly Garden with Rain Barrel was born. Cullinan Park, we got that park from City of Houston about 9 years ago. It's going on 10 years now. They raised the funds for improving the park. We maintain the park. So every improvement to the park is raised through Conservancy, Cullinan Park Conservancy. And so we recently completed phase 3 and phase 2, and phase 3 is Learn, Explore, and Play, and that's in the works. That's in the design phase currently. But recently completed more trails at Cullinan Park and more parking, because we simply ran out of parking out there, especially during COVID when everybody was running to the parks. We flat out ran out of room. They were parking all the way down the road, the park road, for about a mile, all the way to Highway 6. That's how many people were coming to the park. So the new parking lot doubled our parking capacity out there. I think it more than doubled it. We added some parallel parking along the road so they can get out of the road when they choose to want to park closer to the entrance. And then there's another parking lot at the end of the road. So that was just a really fun project with no increased cost due to us, due to our taxpayers or bonds, all Conservancy raised. Another project that was funded by another entity, Lid 10, funded Park at the Levee improvements. Park at the Levee is a neighborhood park, but there was a 1.7 acres next door that we own, and Lid 10 came to us and said, we want to improve that 1.7 acres and then hand it over to y'all for maintenance after the improvements are done. And the project is literally being finished up right now as we speak. There actually is a ribbon cutting. I think Michelle sent out, she sent out y'all an invite for that. I just found out about it like yesterday, so I apologize for the late invite. But Park at the Levee ribbon cutting will be this Sunday at 2 o'clock. And that was done a little bit atypical than what normal. Normally, Folin and I work with the engineering department here on the second floor to pretty much start from conceptual to construction documentations, bid it out and get it done. And this one went through LJ Engineering. Lid 10 kind of oversaw this project, and they'll be turning it over to us probably next week. So the ribbon cutting is Sunday. Adds pickleball courts, bocce ball, shade, a ping pong table, table tennis, and trails. And so we're super excited about this project. Zero cost to the city of Sugar Land for inception. Of course, the pump track, we're one of really the only cities around that has one. I think there's a couple other cities in Texas, San Antonio, Paris, that have a Velo Solutions pump track. And so we're like the third city to have it. And yes, we host special events here. The USA qualifier, Velo Solutions USA pump track qualifier. So from concept to reality, that team does it all. And I just talked about LEAP, so I won't go into too much more of this, but Learn, Explore, and Play is phase 3 at Cullinan Park. I think it's around $3 million, a little more than that. And so there's continuing to raise funds while we're in design on this. And so it's going to be a really fun project when that comes around. And one of the Sugar Land 4B projects that we're working on after design was finished is the construction. It's out to bid right now. We had the on-site pre-bid meeting actually today. And so we're working on adding a splash pad, a really awesome splash pad to Sugar Land Memorial Park, hopefully having it completed in 2026. Some points of interest, of course, Sugar Land Memorial Park is very popular with the Eagle Plaza and the Memorial Tower honoring the veterans. Our accessibility, ADA accessibility playground at First Colony Park. And of course, public art installations are very popular in our parks. That's the Public Works Civic Arts Group. I think they talked to y'all, I think last month or so. Shay does a great job, and we work closely with her to install public art into the parks and integrate them into the parks. Our parks rehabilitation is an annual ongoing basis. Jorge works hard with development and me to identify areas of things that not necessarily need to be added, but assets that actually need to be replaced or modified or improved because of the age or in the degradation of them. So we're doing everything from replacing lights to LED, walkway repairs, parking lot striping, asphalt, restroom remodels, tennis court resurfacing, playground replacement or repairs, and everything, literally everything in between. He spends about $200,000 annually on that, little more some years. And that's always ongoing. Of course, signage. They're everywhere. If you really look for signage, they're literally everywhere. So we're constantly working on replacing signage or updating signage or adding signage to keep patrons informed and follow the rules and safe. Oh man, Jorge, I talked about him earlier, him and his crew over there at the Austin Parkway shop. They're constantly doing something. They're repairing lights, renting equipment to repair lights, using our equipment to repair trails and plazas, and then doing our own fabrication. And so they literally can do it all over there. I wish they could do more, but they ran out of time, Jorge tells me. So yes, some things are contracted out, like our landscape mowing, and Jorge oversees that $800,000 contract. Volunteer projects. We work with communications to do volunteer projects through Surf Sugar Land. So volunteers 14 and up can come out and help us. And this year we really revamped the volunteer program to kind of help offset some of those maintenance needs that Jorge had. So we went in and painted all of Jim Cooper meeting room. It was sad and needed some love. And so we used volunteers over the fall break, believe it or not, there is a fall break, that's a thing. And we painted the Jim Cooper inside the room. And then Jorge's going to rip up the floors and put new flooring down and new base coat down this winter. So really fun project. You can see the volunteers had a good time. They were really good kids. It was awesome working with them. Foreman and Caitlin and I are constantly working on tree plantings and doing wildflower seedings at Braswell Park. And so we're trying to constantly getting the volunteers engaged more than just picking up trash. Yes, we still pick up trash with volunteers, but we want to do so much more than that. So over on Brianna's side, hopefully I nail this, or Brianna's going to kick me off the podium and she's going to take over, and that's completely fine. But that's the side I'm still learning, although I definitely had a hand in a lot of what they do over the past 12 years being here. But Brianna heads up the events and recreation side. And so as you can see, they have a lot of fun over there on that side. They have a 17,000 square foot, full-sized, gymnasium, exercise room, workout room, and outdoor patio and lawn. IPRC, Imperial Park Recreation Center. They do youth and adult leisure sports, basketball, badminton, pickleball, and everything in between in classes. And you can see there's us ribbon cutting the new cardio weight room that was done earlier this year, if not late 2024. I can't remember. Earlier this year. At the IPRC is the Imperial Park Farmers Market every Saturday from 9 to 1. Unless it's weather an issue, it's always there from 9 to 1. They have themes every couple of months. Director's report has a little bit more information on that, but they have a lot of fun at the Imperial Park. Vendors can come in and register and then sell product at the farmers market. And it's hosted in the parking lot in between the Harmon Senior Center and the IPRC. Right now, a big project that Brianna's working on is the sports tourism study with Hunden Partners. And they just wrapped up a survey and they're looking at the adults results now. So they're looking at all things sports related, recreation related in Sugar Land has to offer and seeing how we can improve and what the pathway forward on that could be using citizen engagement on that. So there were several in-person engagements with all different levels with our sports YSAs, with city staff, council, and all of that. And they're consolidating that information. And hopefully that's something that Brandon will be presenting to y'all in the very near future. But a survey just ended and we had them blasted all over the parks and our social media. The senior center, T. Harmon Senior Center, man, are they busy. 10,000 square foot building, and they have everything in between to offer over there. Plus it serves as a rental on the weekends. And so they're expanding and growing so much. That's why we're looking at a need study for the senior center to see what is the future of the senior center need to be. Outdoor recreation, man, we have it all. And recreation puts programming out there in the parks, whether that's in-house or do it at your own pace, or whether that's offering a program or a class to fit your need. Mountain biking, I would say, is becoming very popular. And then kayak, whatever water sports should be going in this month or next. I presented that to y'all a couple months ago. So that should be coming in. We're working on the permitting right now. So a lot going on in youth sports associations as well. A variety of our community parks host many YSAs. And Ryan does a great job handling all that. Our participation, Youth Sports Association, 3,805 participants. Members, 3,648 members at IPRC. T. Harmon, almost 3,000. That's a lot for a 10,000 square foot building. 96% residents, 4% non-residents, and 93 and 7 for Harmon. Since the opening of the new cardio weight room at the Imperial Park Rec Center in May of 2025, well, there's the date right there. We have 734 new members. So obviously those are the people that were really looking for a cardio weight room, including myself. I also go over there as well. Not as often in the last couple of weeks as I've been wanting to, but I do go out there on my lunch break and it's awesome. I see other staff members going out there as well, but I see a lot of people using it when before it was just kind of a meeting room and it was really mainly used for internal meetings, not too many external meetings. 10, that front staff does a great job managing through their software. 10 park pavilions, 7 buildings, and everything else that you can imagine. So if a customer wants it, needs it, they handle that. Special events, y'all are familiar with these. I see y'all a lot at these. We just had a few, and they've got a few coming up. But the Sugar Gala, International Art and Kite Fest, Red, White, and Boom. It's transitioned to Constellation Field. We used to host it at Crown Festival Park, and Memorial Day ceremony at Memorial Park, and plus many, many more. Special event series. These are the kind of the smaller events that we have. Fall Fest, Christmas tree lighting here at the Town Square, Sugar Land Town Square here, and then park event series kind of all over the place, from the pump track to the plaza at Smart Financial Center to the happy hour at the dog park. In fact, the happy hour just happened. I think that's in the director's report. And then city celebrations. Every ribbon cutting that the city has, we have our hand in it. So the special events team helps coordinate and get the right people there and get the festivities and make sure everybody's smiling and having a good time. As Kimberly always says, we are the Department of Fun. So we are involved in a lot of projects besides Parks Department projects. But of course, they help me and Volin ribbon cut our projects, and we've had so many, right? And civic arts, talking about civic arts, that's at Mayfield Park. To the pickleball court project that some of y'all were just at, and it's going awesome, by the way. And so they're always lending everybody a hand through that. So with some recent awards, Project of the Year award from Houston Urban Forestry Council. That's a tree planting event that we held. 1 silver and 1 bronze award from Texas Festivals and Events Association. Living Magazine's Best of Fort Bend Readers Memorial Park, and People Love Us on Yelp, Oyster Creek Park, just to name a few. All right, Parks Board. So that's kind of the orientation part. I would like to stop here and before we get to the kind of the Parks Board nitty gritty. And does anybody have any kind of questions for me on Parks and Recreation and kind of what we do? I know I went pretty fast.
Any questions from him?
Okay. For the Parks Board to provide, the council's vision for Parks Board is for the Parks Board to provide input, feedback, and advice on projects and programs to enrich the visual and aesthetic environment of the city, to advise on matters related to long-term goals and objectives for parks, recreation, and cultural activities, streetscapes, and urban forestry programs, and to ensure an environment where all citizens can share and enjoy the full diversity and vitality of the city. And yes, streetscapes is in that. And that's why Henry's here today to talk to y'all a little bit about that. So is Art. Parks Board duties: to make recommendations to Parks and Recreation staff, City Council, and City Manager or designee regarding Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Master Plan, Pedestrian and Bicycle Plan, Cultural Arts Strategic Plan, Public Arts Plan, proposed development of city parks and facilities, long-term goals, objectives, or policies pertaining to parks and recreation activities and design. Additional Park Board duties: make recommendations to the city manager or designee regarding the establishment of any park ordinance, serve as an appeal board for department policies affecting the public. Serves as this city's tree advisory board in accordance with section 5-382. And there's a city council policy number and a city council ordinance number. Who are you representing? Citizens, ISAs, community organizations, groups, visitors, guests, and tourists. Our customers: you are the sounding board of citizen needs and desires, using survey tools and public input opportunities for needs assessments. Most importantly, having direct person-to-person contact with citizens, both users and non-users of parks and recreational facilities and programs. Handling complaints and suggestions: avoid arguing, always thank the citizens for their comments, get specific information, remember that it's okay not to know all the answers, and refer citizens to call 311 or the 2825 number, or email at 311 at sugarlandtx.gov, or report a concern via the website at sugarlandtx.gov/311. Member guidelines: be willing to invest your time and attend the majority of the meetings. Balance your special interests with those of the board. Develop priorities as a team and be willing to compromise when appropriate. Listen and withhold judgment until all facts are discussed. Represent the board at various community functions. Seek and have well-rounded interest in all areas: parks, arts, recreation, and culture. Do some desk.
No, it
And
didn't.
streetscapes, that's right. Good catch. All areas, right? Okay, where we are. Member attendance. Member attendance: your commitment is essential to success at Parks Board meetings. Be willing to invest time and attend board meetings. City Council may dismiss any board member for poor attendance. Members are expected to be available to attend more than 50% of all regularly scheduled board meetings. If a member becomes unable to attend most board meetings, the member should submit their resignation so that replacement may be appointed. 3 consecutive meetings missed is deemed automatic resignation, except in special circumstances, including business conflict, illness of family emergency, which are all subject to approval from the board chair. City emails for board updates and check emails for board updates and respond in a timely manner to Michelle. Meetings cannot occur if there is no quorum met. At least 5 members must be present in order to meet. Virtual attendance doesn't count for the quorum, must be attended in person. I will say that the 50% rule may be new to y'all, but talking to Michelle, it's really not a new rule for the city. It's been around for a while. We just didn't really know it. And so it is a rule in place. And also, Michelle and me would come back to y'all with more updates, but in January, February, our understanding is the city secretary is going to do some more clarification on some policies and procedures for boards. We don't know what those changes are going to be. I think they're still working them out, but hopefully we get some updates from them. And hopefully in January, February, we can come back to y'all and give y'all a little bit more clarity on city's council directives are on boards. But for right now, this is what we're aware of the rules are. So, Parks Board, 2025-2026, you awesome people. Ho-Jin, of course, is the chair. Heather, vice chair. Chris, welcome. Joan, Kelsey, Sunny, Kelsey, Andy, Tracy. Welcome. Our meetings are generally the second Tuesday of the month. I almost said first. As you can see, if we don't have a meeting, Michelle will diligently let y'all know as early as possible. Sometimes we don't meet if we have an event kind of conflicting or we don't really have anything on the agenda to talk about. We try not to do that a whole lot. Our meetings are here, second Tuesdays of the month, unless noted, and Michelle will give y'all a heads up as soon as possible. The meeting flow is follow the Roberts Rule of Order. Aim for organized, well-run meetings. Speak one at a time and listen to others. Avoid digressing into unrelated topics during an agenda item. Moving forward, support the decisions and your recommendations of your board. Move forward with a unified voice. And our contact, of course, Facebook, social media, 35,974 followers, Instagram. Follow us and you can always keep updated on what we have going on. We can't possibly share everything with y'all in these monthly meetings. We try, but we can't do it. And our contact information there. And so reach us anyhow, anyway. And with that, I'll take any questions on anything in the PowerPoint presentation. Maybe you've got something since I last asked.
Well, anyone have questions or comments? I do actually have a comment or question really related to that virtual. It says virtual meetings are not valid. I guess during the pandemic, I mean, that's an exception, obviously. That's kind of being where it is, but I just want to make sure that we note that as part of this. Obviously, certain circumstances will allow for, allow for the virtual meetings to occur to have a quorum. So, with that said, anyone comments or questions? Nope. William, thank you so much for that. It was very informative and
It was a lot, but I wanted to make sure that we all kind of got caught up on everything that's going on. Appreciate y'all.
And then I think
like a PDF.
I think we will.
that'd be
Yes,
fantastic.
thank you, Michelle. Michelle said she'd PDF y'all a copy.
Okay, great. Thank you, Michelle. All right, thank you. All right, next item we have are fact findings and recommendations. Trees City USA application, consideration of an action on the approval of the 2025 Tree City USA application. Mr. Henry Babarica, right-of-way service manager, will be presenting. Hopefully I pronounced your last name correct.
You did fine.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you. So, I am, as I said, my name's Henry Babarica. I'm the right-of-way services manager in the Public Works Department of Sugar Land. I am here tonight to ask for your approval for Tree City USA for us to submit that application to continue our designation as a Tree City USA for City of Sugar Land. So 2025's Tree City application is what we're here for. Now, there's some responsibilities the board has in this process. And the first one is participate in annual Arbor Day proclamation and activities, including city council proclamation, which was October 21st, 2025. It went on consent. If you were in attendance, it didn't get called out, but it was on consent. Trees Across Sugar Land tree planting, which was November 1st, 2025. That was a joint venture between Parks, KSLB, Public Works Right Away Group, and many volunteers that helped put 125 trees in the ground.
Yes, sir.
5 gallon up to 15 gallon, I believe it was, right?
That's right.
So that was a very successful event. And public awareness and education. And, you know, in general, approved Tree City application renewals as they come forward. As I say, we've had this designation since 2011, and we hope to continue this. Tree City USA Award since 2011, like I said, requirements. We have a tree board, department, tree care ordinance, which we do have. Community forest program with an annual budget of at least $2 per capita. And I will show the next one of the slides coming up shows what our per capita was for this year. And Arbor Day observance and proclamation. So the per capita this year was $3.20 per capita. It fluctuates from year to year depending on how much budget is funded for all the programs throughout the city. Now, this budget total comes from both funds from Public Works, Parks, facilities, and some of the HOA reimbursements that we do for all the HOAs. So all combined, it comes down to that number. So this is just a screenshot of the proclamation, which was on November 7th, 2025, which we declared Texas Arbor Day in Sugar Land. That one's went on consent at City Council on the 21st of October. And Trees Across Sugar Land event 2025 was November 1st at Brazos River Park. Partnered with Parks and KSLB, like I mentioned before. That was an well-planned event. I did not get to attend because of some health reasons, but yeah, from what I hear, it was a really good event. So next steps, I'm here asking for Parks Board approval. And then I have to, once that's done, I finish the application and it prints out a application sheet to have to get the city manager's signature on. And then at the end, it's just submit the application by the December 31st deadline. And with that, Public Works and Parks Department staff recommends approval of this year's 2025 Tree City USA application. Any questions?
Questions or comments?
Where does the designation come from? You say you send the application, just for my information, who do you send it to?
It's a group, Tree City USA. It's a nationally recognized group. It's a pretty formal application where you have to call out, like I said, how much money you're spending on taking care of trees. You call out how many trees you planted, how many trees you removed, how many trees you just took care of, how many trees you pruned and trimmed and mulched. All those go into this application. All these numbers tally into that application.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Questions or comments? Oh, yes.
The tree plantings, where do those typically occur?
This year it was at Brazos River Park. And we've done that a couple of years. We've done it at Colin Park. And to my knowledge, that's the only 2 that we've done so far. Are there other parks, William?
There are other, aside from the KSLB tree plantings, we've done other tree plantings as well, but our most consistent one is the KSLB ones at Brazos River and Cullinan.
But they're typically in city parks, not along roadways and things like that.
Yes, the volunteer ones.
Yeah, our goal is to, because all these volunteers are normally high school kids, and we want to make sure they're safe and they're out of harm's way. So parks are the safest place to do it, and it helps beautify the park.
Yeah, I guess I'm just concerned about the trees along many of our roadways that happen to be growing either under our roads or something and causing more road damage, but or upheavals or whatever you want to call them. So we're not hopefully contributing to that type of activity. So
Not,
No, we're not.
not with this.
not with this. Again, it's more of park area or something like that.
Okay. Good. So as far as the trimming of the trees, is that consideration in the right of ways? That's, I mean, kind of following up what.
Yeah, well, parks, they trim trees in the parks. Our right of way department trims trees all in the right of ways. And then you have HOAs that are trimming trees in all of their areas that we contribute to their funds. And facilities has contracts where they're trimming trees as well. So it's trimming trees everywhere.
That counts for that.
Throughout the city. I mean, everything you see down Highway 59, Highway 6, Highway 90, Eldridge Road, Dulles Avenue, Bernie Road, University Boulevard, all those are major areas where trees get trimmed on a regular basis.
Okay, thank you. All right, anyone else? All right, thank you so much. I appreciate your presentation. So with that said, I will take a motion for approval for consideration of an action on the approval of the 2025 Tree City USA application. Yes. Please, John. First, second. All right. Chris Delay. Thank you. So first is Kelsey Johnson and Chris Delay is second. Thank you so much. I appreciate the presentation. Those in favor? All, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. With that said, we have the director's report, final and not least. Mr. William Hodrick will be presenting again and give us all the director's information.
All right. We had a busy last month or so. So I'll just share the highlights. There's a lot more information in your director's report handout and in the email that Michelle sent out. So yeah, Kimberly wanted to make sure we recap this a little bit. Yes, I was part of the assistant director group that did the Red Bull Flu Tag event. Brianna was a part of that as well. And we're going to city council next week on Tuesday to do a recognition for that and just kind of all the city's efforts to team up together. Virtually every department was represented in this fun but silly team building event where they launched me off of a ramp 30 feet up in the air and we came home with the People's Choice Award. So a lot of y'all watched that video, live streamed it, and I got all the emails and I tried to respond back to all of them. But anyways, the council wants to recognize the assistant director cohort group next Tuesday at city council, November 18th. Speaking of fun, well, yeah, aside from keeping our parks awesome and beautiful, we do try to get out and have a little fun as well. Texas Recreation and Park Society hosts a rodeo, a maintenance rodeo every month in November. We don't always get to make it. We made it this time. We moved some things around the calendar. We moved some things around the calendar, and a bunch of us attended the rodeo in Missouri City, right down the road, to do some friendly competition amongst our peers. Ramon won first place nail driving. He is going to go to Texas State Conference to compete in that in February. And then he also won in the backhoe competition. And then two of our guys won the irrigation competition, 4th place. So we cleaned up pretty good in Missouri City. Our small but mighty staff is very powerful and knowledgeable on equipment and machinery. Yes, I competed in the Director's Challenge. Yes, I think I did okay, but no, I did not win. Clearly, I have some work that I need to do. Clearly. Maybe I need to do less of this and more actually getting out there and letting the guy show me a thing or two. But I didn't hit that many cones. Brianna can attest.
Rigged. Missouri City Director won. It was hosted in Missouri City.
I was late, so I didn't get to do the backpack blower competition. I tried to get Brianna to do it for me, and she said, just hurry up. See, development, maintenance, some part-timers, some rec folks, they all came out to support the staff as they competed in a friendly competition. And then we ate lunch together and just got the chance to visit with our fellow peers. We hosted 3 City of Sugar Land enrichment programs for the local Fort Bend ISD elementary kids. And today was our last one, where they came to the city hall to learn more about what the city does. Kind of ended the day going to a park to eat their lunch, and then getting entertained by us. And so this is us kind of greeting them as were leaving back to the bus and giving them their goodie bags. But at Braswell Park, if you were to look this way, you'd see that we let them play on the playground, and we had a number of activities for them to play with us. And we've hosted 3 schools, and today's our last one. I'm sure they'll be back next year. I talked about this already, so I don't really need to go into this one, but here's just some more pictures, action shots of us painting the Jim Cooper room with volunteers to engage them, but also get some things done in the parks. Henry talked about this a little bit, but at the KSLB tree planting a couple weeks ago at Braswell Park, Bowman also led a team to do wildflower seeding. And we just talked about safety in general and the well-being of trees and what it means to plant a tree. Before we kicked it off and planted trees and planted seeds at Braswell Park. And you'll see them this spring. The maintenance guys are always busy. Jorge always gets a lot of interesting photos from his staff. He tries to find the best ones. There you go. The guys are constantly taking limbs off trails, cleaning up the trails, pruning trees like Henry talked about earlier, fixing irrigation leaks. That's a 6-inch main line at Eldridge Park. Lots of irrigation in a park, so we constantly need to be fixing that. And then putting sod down at my pickleball court project so we can prevent erosion and make sure that people aren't walking in the mud. The guys kind of handle everything from A to Z, and literally Z basketball goal nets. Yes, they need to be replaced, and yes, we have to do it. And we picked the new tall guy that Chris just joined our team, and you notice how we picked the tall guy to go do that job, right? So he's happy to help. Chris is a new staff member, started a couple of weeks ago, and he's jumping right in, as you can see, leading his crew on the north side of town. To Jorge, in order to appreciate his staff as he continues to give them work orders every single day, and they work weekends on call, Jorge grilled up some breakfast for them, just to show them his appreciation for them. So Recreation Center did host a TNBA basketball camp. Quite a bit of interest in that, and that was over the fall break as well. The Farmers Market, 35 vendors have participated in the Halloween October 18th Farmers Market. So it's a really kind of a grand one, kind of the quarterly grand one that I talked about. There is pictures with Santa coming up as well. But our part-timers, shout out to them. They spend a lot of effort and time on this. Full-time staff too, but part-time really do a brunt of the work out there. And as you can see, quite a bit of engagement at the last farmers market, a couple weeks ago farmers market, Halloween edition. The T. Harmon Senior Center hosts the Diwali celebration of lights. Over 100 members attended that for delicious food, plenty of dancing, and just celebrating the moment. And then to honor those that have passed away, the T. Harmon Senior Center worked on October 30th and 31st to celebrate Dia de los Muertos, to honor and remember those that have passed away in the last year. So, they're really busy over there. If you drive by there, you'll see the parking lot is really full. That's one of the reasons why we're doing a study. But they had a bingo over there where more than 70 people attended bingo. And so it was like dress up Halloween style bingo. Third party community events, we got a lot of those. Not all the events in our parks are hosted by the city, but we do have to coordinate those events. And that's Jessica and Adrian over there at the senior center, at the IPRC building. And to make sure everybody's following the rules and policies and procedures of our parks, and collecting that rental income as well. You can see that several people had events in our parks over the last couple of weeks, including FBMBA, as they hosted a pump track race competition. And then they did a large mountain bike race out there as well. But we always have 5 and 10Ks, it seems like, constantly every weekend at our parks. Aside from just the everyday rentals and pavilion rentals and building rentals. We already talked about this, but yeah, a lot of y'all came to the ribbon cutting. We emailed that last couple weeks ago. That went really well. Everybody seemed to have fun cutting the ribbon and playing some pickleball. Even I brought my tennis shoes and played a little bit of pickleball. I did not win, Obviously, I've got work to do, but I gave it my all. Okay? Happy hour, that was just a couple weeks ago. That was at Sugarland Memorial Park Dog Park. They had a lot of fun. And as you can see, the dogs also got out to play as well. I have a dog, her name is Bluebell. My wife thinks I give her more attention than her, so I gotta work on that a little bit. But anyways, lots of dogs were happy at the happy hour. Dog vendors were able to come out and promote their stuff, sponsors, and just general education on dogs and animals in general. Christmas tree lighting is coming up Friday, December the 5th, right around the corner. So I look forward to seeing y'all out there right here at City Hall Town Square as the mayor lights the Christmas tree and we have a celebration for this time of year. Brandon, did I miss anything?
The only thing that we didn't talk about that's happening in December is the senior center's home for the holidays event. They are gonna have something over there. They usually have a big banquet at Marriott. This year, we're bringing it back to the Farmers Center. It's gonna be on December 11th. If there's a community fee, just like there is with any of the program that they have there. But just FYI on that, for the holidays, we have 3 different events. The Christmas tree lighting that William just touched on for the holidays. And then we have the Saturday Farmers Market where they will have photos with Santa. So those are the 3 that I did want to mention.
When's the farmer's market?
It's the Saturday after tree lighting. So tree lighting is on the 5th and then the farmer's market is on the 6th.
Yes, sir, sorry.
Well, I'll ask the question. Are you gonna get rid of the scaffolding before the Christmas tree lighting?
Working on it.
Fingers crossed. You're very hopeful and we're spreading a lot of positive vibes.
I had to be the one to ask.
Yeah.
As with any construction project, they always depend on weather. If the weather is bad or if we get a lot of rain, it could be delayed. And if the scaffolding is still there, the plan B is that we still would have the little off to the side one that goes up to the tower, but we're gonna clear the stage so that we can still use it for the performances and things like that. So there's a plan A. And then there's a plan B.
Get plan C.
Please.
Thank you.
As y'all can see, the staff work really hard here year round. And so one thing we're gonna do is close the centers for a few hours on November 19th. And we're gonna do a barbecue, fajita appreciation lunch. Me and Brian are working on that right now, just to kind of slow down, break some bread together and just celebrate the wins. We have an employee that's reached 25 years, Ruben, with the city. We have a couple of others that reached some milestones. And we're just gonna hang out at the T. Harmon Senior Center, eat some pitas together, maybe play a little bit of pool. No, I can't play pool either, but I'll try. And just kind of enjoy each other before we get into our very busy season, which is the holidays. It's busy for us. And then we jump into spring, which is really busy for us. Good weather brings people to the parks, which we appreciate, but we also want to appreciate our staff. So if we're closed for a few hours on November 19th, you'll just know we're just kind of celebrating our own internal wins. Heather?
Question. Yeah, and again, thank you to the city and the staff. The parks are great. Everybody loves the park. Great job. You mentioned something about the City of Sugar Land enrichment program with the field trips for schools. How do schools participate in that?
Brandon knows more than me on this one.
Yeah, so we have been working heavily between the city and Fort Bend ISD because we're trying to bridge a connection there. Inside of in our city, there's an internal liaison. Her name is Anna Glaze. She has been coordinating a lot of different things with Fort Bend ISD. She's trying to capture overall all of the things that just different departments are already doing that isn't captured anywhere. But she also was the one that was in charge of these enrichment programs with these schools. So what I can do is I can send you her contact information right after this so that you have her information. But it's just it's a growing partnership. So she's just on the very beginning stages of what this could potentially be moving forward. But she's going to be your main point of contact, the city's liaison.
Yeah, and I'd love to help support that and share it with the other schools if that's what city's looking for. Yeah.
We had a blast. It was over 100 kids each session.
Each time.
Each time.
Sure, you guys always give great events, so that's why I was wondering.
They had a blast at Braswell Park and Memorial Park playgrounds.
How did they decide on the 100 kids?
It was, I think, the whole grade.
Yes,
a whole
yeah,
grade.
so they
Oh,
did-
great.
Like a field trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
The whole grade.
Final questions or any comments? All right, well, thank you so much, Brilliant. Appreciate
Appreciate
your
y'all's time.
participation. All right, with that said, can I get a motion for adjourn? Heather Gillian? Second? Thank you, Tracy Pipes. With that said, we are adjourned. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
So, they'll give. So. I just have to show early.
Okay.
It's with an email.
Inviting, should we plan to attend? Yes, there's.
All right, folks, and don't work too hard.
Yeah. Back, I have to go back.
Yes, that's pretty much our waiting opportunity. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Thank you for all you do.
Running.
Were you like struggling? Hi, nice to meet you.
Start right now.
You heard that.
Maybe events, have you been a part of any of it?
I think we.
I know.
The next events. I think we're doing something you.
Yeah, probably a
See what you-
team, so yeah, Ryan and Heather, they-
Thank you. I talked to you and then I talked to you.
meeting with the parties.
Get a
Yeah,
phone call.
Alex,